see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy...
The Mugello circuit once again witnessed an extraordinary moment that has the potential to change the 2026 MotoGP landscape. In Yamaha's closed test session, Toprak performed beyond belief, posting a lap time that stunned the entire paddock, even outperforming Marquez in a pure speed simulation. Riding the V4-powered Yamaha M1, Toprak was not only fast, but also appeared perfectly attuned to the latest prototype bike. From the first lap, the extreme braking style typical of superbikes that he brought to MotoGP once again became a highlight. However, this time, what stunned everyone was the stability of the Yamaha V4 during late braking in Mugello's fast sections, something previously thought impossible. According to an internal team source, Toprak managed to break Yamaha's internal record at Mugello in a time attack simulation. His time was even said to be faster than Marquez's reference data, under the same track conditions. This immediately sparked a huge reaction in the Yamaha garage. Marquez himself, known as the King of Adaptation, and a specialist in technical circuits, was said to have been closely monitoring the data. Some observers noted that for the first time in the 2026 pre-season test, Marquez's name wasn't at the top of the Yamaha Ducati benchmark performance charts. However, the biggest surprise came from Fabio Quartararo. The MotoGP world champion reportedly remained silent for a long time after seeing Toprak's telemetry. Fabio didn't expect his new teammate to be able to extract such potential from the Yamaha V4, especially in the fast sections of Mugello, which have long been Yamaha's weak point. "It's not just about being fast on one lap," said a Yamaha engineer. "Toprak is consistent, aggressive, and the bike remains stable. That's the most surprising thing." What made Toprak's performance even more terrifying was his ability to maintain speed as the tires began to degrade. In short race simulations, Toprak maintained a high pace without extreme degradation, something that has been a challenge for Yamaha for years. Here's the full story. Yamaha's private test session at the Mugello circuit in early 2026 turned into a major surprise. Toprak put in a spectacular performance, posting what many in the paddock described as exceeding Yamaha's technical expectations. Riding a Yamaha M1 with a V4 engine, Toprak successfully set a new internal record, while also surpassing Marquez's speed benchmark on a track known for demanding stability and courage. From the start of the session, Toprak's threat was palpable. In the opening run, the Turkish rider immediately displayed aggression, utilizing his trademark extreme braking at the San Donato turn. Surprisingly, the Yamaha V4 was able to withstand the heavy braking load without excessive wobble, a problem that has plagued Yamaha's inline engines for years. Yamaha's internal record broken at Mugello. The highlight of the surprise came in the afternoon time attack session. With ideal track conditions and fresh tires, Toprak set a time that became Yamaha's fastest benchmark at Mugello since the V4 project was developed. Internal data indicates that this time surpassed Marquez's benchmark, which had previously been used as a benchmark for maximum performance. Not only did Toprak set a fast lap, but he also demonstrated consistent rhythm in short race simulations. On long runs, his time difference remained stable, even when the tires began to lose grip. This is what led Yamaha engineers to describe Toprak's performance as complete. "This isn't a coincidence," said a Yamaha technical source. "He's fast, but more importantly, he understands how to push the bike without destroying it." Fabio Quartararo silenced. Yamaha garage silent. The most striking reaction came from Fabio Quartararo. The MotoGP world champion reportedly remained silent for a long time after seeing Toprak's telemetry. Fabio, who has long been Yamaha's development benchmark, was surprised to see the relatively young V4 bike exploited so aggressively. The contrast between their styles is stark. Fabio is known for his smooth and precise style, while Toprak is brutal yet controlled. The fact that the Yamaha V4 can accommodate Toprak's extreme style opens up a new perspective. This bike has a much wider performance window than initially thought. Some observers say this was the first time Yamaha truly saw the potential of their V4 as aligned with the modern Ducati philosophy. Powerful during acceleration, stable under braking, and still fast in fast corners. Marquez no longer the sole benchmark. Marquez's name has always been the benchmark for absolute performance. However, at Mugello, that symbolic dominance began to shift. Although Marquez was not directly involved in the test, the comparative data used showed that Toprak had reached a level usually only achieved by elite MotoGP riders. Paddock analysts believe that Toprak's superiority lies not only in his courage, but also in his ability to read the bike's mechanical limits, a quality usually only possessed by riders with extensive MotoGP experience. Yamaha V4 and the beginning of a new era. This Mugello test reinforced one important conclusion. The Yamaha V4 is no longer an experimental project. It has developed into a competitive package, and Toprak appears to be the ideal person to push its extreme limits. Yamaha's top brass is said to be increasingly convinced that the decision to hire Toprak is a strategic move, not just a marketing ploy. His unique riding style actually accelerated the bike's development, forcing Yamaha to find previously unthinkable technical solutions. A real threat to MotoGP 2026. If this performance continues into the official season, MotoGP 2026 has the potential to introduce a new force. Toprak Razgatlioglu is no longer an adaptable newcomer. He has become a real threat to the giants, including Marquez and the Ducati riders. The race without the media present was initially focused on chassis development and refining the characteristics of Yamaha's V4 engine. However, what transpired on the track exceeded initial expectations. Toprak was not only fast but also remarkably consistent on one of the fastest and most demanding circuits on the MotoGP calendar. Quick adaptation to high-speed tracks. Mugello is known as a circuit that demands a perfect balance between top speed, stability during fast corners, and extreme braking. This characteristic has been a major challenge for Yamaha for years. However, Toprak was able to adapt quickly, even from the very first run. In fast sections like Arrabbiata 1 and Arrabbiata 2, Toprak displayed great confidence. The bike remained stable even at high speeds and at extreme lean angles. Internal data indicates that Toprak's entry speed was above the average in previous Yamaha tests at Mugello. Furthermore, on the main straight, the Yamaha M1 V4 recorded significant improvements in acceleration and top speed. The V4 engine, which had been a major development focus, was finally able to compete with the characteristics of the Mugello track, which is known to be more forgiving of high-powered engines. Extreme late braking makes a difference. The main highlight of this test was Toprak's extreme braking style, a trademark he carried over from World Superbike. At the San Donato corner, Toprak braked deeply, maintained his racing line, and exited the corner with clean traction. Yamaha admitted that this style was previously considered too aggressive for MotoGP. However, the test results at Mugello proved otherwise. Telemetry showed stable wheel slide control, with minimal correction from the electronic system. Interestingly, some comparative data showed that Toprak's corner entry speed in certain sectors was at a level comparable to, or even higher than, Marquez's historical records during testing at Mugello in recent seasons. Inevitable comparisons with Marquez. Marquez's name inevitably came up in Yamaha's internal discussions. Although Marquez was not present at this test, comparisons of riding styles and sector data were the main topics of evaluation. Marquez has long been known as the benchmark for extreme braking and front-end control. However, Toprak demonstrated a different approach. More aggressive corner entry, yet smooth transitions into the acceleration phase. Several sources reported that in the fast Mugello sections, Toprak was able to maintain a higher average speed, an indication that he was beginning to master the MotoGP character without losing his racing identity. Yamaha's response. Controlled optimism. Yamaha management responded to the test results with high, but realistic optimism. They considered Toprak's performance a strong signal that the development of the M1V4 was on the right track.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby's hella bad. After her there ain't no coming back. Wanna take a run at that. I think she's feeling me. Turn it up a few degrees. My imagination of her body